Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you in MVC how to insert records into a database using AngularJS. And here we got our final output, the header tags, the table and 3 text box controls and 1 button control. Notice the table right now this is empty. Let's check in the database table also. The employee table, let's execute. Right now this employee table contains 0 rows. Here is 0 rows. Let's insert record. Let's enter employee name Charan. The enter email ID charan@gmail.com and salary is 12345. Let's insert record. And here we got an alert message, record inserted successfully. Click OK. See that the employee Charan details is added into our table. Let's check in the database table also. Let's execute. And here we got the Charan employee details is added into this employee table. That's it. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before writing the coding part in AngularJS to insert the records, first we'll create a new table. I'm expanding the root folder of the MySQL Server Management Studio, as well as I'm expanding the databases. The database name I'm using new DB. I'm expanding that one. I'm expanding the tables of the new DB. Let's create a table in this new DB database. Right click the new DB database, new query. Let's try the query. To create a table, create table employee. The table name is, and the column names are employee ID integer, not null. I'm adding primary key, as well as I'm adding the identity column, which is the auto-generated column, employee name and varchar 150, comma, email and varchar 150, and the last column name I'm adding the salary, which is the integer type. Let's execute the statement to create a table. Execute. Here we got a message, command completed successfully. Let's check in this database, refresh the tables folder, and notice here we got the employee table is created in the new DB database. Let's browse the table, right click the table name, select top 1000 rows. And here we got the results of this newly created employee table. Right now this employee table contains 0 rows. Now the second part, we'll write a code in AngularJS to insert new records into this table. Let's open Visual Studio. For this video tutorial, I'm creating a new MVC application. Go to File, New, Project, and from the web templates, I'm selecting ASP.NET Web Application, and the .NET Framework I'm using 4.6.1. The application name is MVC Insert AngularJS. Click OK. And from the templates, I'm selecting MVC. Click OK. And the project is created successfully. Let's close this default window, open Solution Explorer. Now in this project, notice the scripts folder. When I expand this one, there is no any AngularJS files. Let's install AngularJS. Right click the project name, select Manage Netjet Packages, go to Browse and search for AngularJS. Enter. And from the search results, I'm selecting the first option, AngularJS. Click Install. Click OK. And notice here in the Solution Explorer, the AngularJS files are installing. and the AngularJS files are installed successfully, and notice there is a green tick mark, which means it's installed successfully into our project. Let's close this Nugget package window. After we install the AngularJS into the project, now we'll configure app underscore start, expand that one, bundle config.cs file, open that one, copy this one and paste here. So instead of bundle slash bootstrap, I'm adding angular, copy this one, and I'm adding the script slash angular.js file. After that, I don't require the respond.js. That's it. After adding the script bundle in the bundle config.cs file, let's open Solution Explorer. Now we'll add a ADO.NET Entity Data Model to the project. Right click the project name, add ADO.NET Entity Data Model. Let's add the model name EMP, click OK. And from the model contents, I'm selecting the first option, EF Designer from database, click Next. Let's create a new connection. I'm adding SQL Server name. After adding SQL Server name, now let's select our database name. The database name is a new DB. Test connection. It succeeded. Okay. And here we got our connection string, and the connection string name is new DB entities, and I'm saving this connection string in the web.config file. Click Next. And now from the database objects, I'm expanding the tables as well as DBO. Our table name is the employee table. Let's select that one, click Finish. And here the employee entity model is added to our project. Let's close this output message box. Open Solution Explorer. Let's minimize the references folder. The next step, after adding that .udmx employee entity model, now we'll create a controller in this controllers folder. Right click the controllers, add controller, and I'm selecting MVC controller empty, add. The controller name is EMP, add, and here we got our controller EMP also. Now in this controller, I'm adding the public JSON result. The method name I'm adding, get all employees, is a method name. Let's add our connection string. New DB entities is our connection string name. Let's create an object. ND is the object name is equals to new DB entities. After that, list employee. Let's create an object. EMP list is equals to ND dot employees object dot toList method. After that, return JSON method. The JSON method, the first parameter takes the object, the data we are getting from this EMP list object. Let's copy that one and add in the JSON method, comma, the second parameter is the JSON request behavior. Let's add that one, JSON request behavior dot allow get, semicolon. And this get all employees JSON result method is to get all the employee records. Now after that, in the same controller, I'm adding the functionality to insert the records. For that, I'm adding a new method, public string add EMP is a method name. Now in this method name, I'm adding our table name is the employee. I'm creating the object add employee is the object name. After that, new DB data entities, ND is equals to new DB entities. After that, ND dot the employees table object dot add method. Now in this add method I'm adding the object add employee. After that nd.saveChanges method, return. In the return I'm adding the message record inserted successfully, semicolon. Let's put this R capital and I capital. That's it. We have added the code to insert new employee details into this employee table. Now we require the view page, but before adding the view page, first we must build the application. Build solution, and here we got a message build succeeded. Let's close this output message box. Now let's create the view page of this index. Highlight the index, right click that one, add view, and the view name is index and the template empty without model. Click add, and here we got the index view page. Now in this index view page, first thing I'm adding the reference of the AngularJS. Open Solution Explorer. In the scripts folder, come to the bottom. There is the angular.js file. Here it is. Just drag and drop on the index view page. After that, I'm changing the header title how to insert and display records in MVC using AngularJS. After that, adding horizontal line. Now after the horizontal line, I am adding a table to display all the employee details. Table, I'm adding the border for the table is equals to 1. Let's add the columns tr, th, table headers. The first one is the emp id. The second column name, employee name, email and salary. Let's add those headers. emp name, table headers, email. The last column of the header is which is salary. After that, I'm adding another tr. Let's add td. Copy this one. We have 4 columns. Now after adding the table, now let's write the script. Angular script. I'm declaring a variable app is equals to angular dot module method. Between double quotes I'm adding my Angular application name, which is my app, comma array, semicolon, app dot controller. Between double quotes I'm adding my controller, comma. The second parameter is the callback definition, which is a function. I'm adding $scope, comma $http. Semicolon. Now in this controller I'm adding a function $scope dot get all employee, which is a method name, is equals to function $http the HTTP attributes. I'm adding the first one is a method, colon, between single quotes I'm adding the method is a get method. We are getting the employee details, so I'm adding the method get. And the second attribute which is a URL is a path between single quotes. I'm adding /. The path is I'm adding a controller name is emp. Copy this one and paste here /. And the function name is the JSON function name getAllEmployees method. Let's add that one. Dot then function result semicolon dollar scope dot I'm adding the object emp list is equals to result dot data semicolon. That's it. In this controller I have added a getAllEmployees function to fetch all the employee details from this JSON method getAllEmployees. Now what I'm doing, I'm putting this in the center. Let's add the center after the table. After the horizontal line, I'm adding a new div tag, div. Now in this div, I'm adding the AngularJS directives, ng-app. ng-app directive is Angular application name. My Angular application name is my app. Let's add that one. The next attribute directive is a controller. ng-controller is equals to the controller name is my controller. After that, I'm closing this div tag. After the table, before the center tag. Now in this table, I'm adding another directive of the AngularJS ng-init. I'm initializing the getAllEmployee function name. After that, in the tr, I'm adding repeat is the Angular directive x in. Let's create an object. Let's add the object which is the emp list. Let's bind the data between curly braces, which is the Angular expression x dot. The column names are emp, emp id, emp name, email and salary. We have to add the same column names. Between curly braces x dot emp name. Between curly braces I'm adding x dot email, and the last column between curly braces I'm adding salary. S is capital. That's it. Up to now we have added the functionality to fetch all the employee details, to fetch all the employee records from the table employee into this table using getAllEmployee method. Now after the table I'm adding another horizontal line. Now let's add the text box controls to insert records. Emp name colon, I'm adding input type is equals to text, placeholder, enter employee name, and let's close this one. Email, let's copy this one, paste here. Salary, break. After that I'm adding a button control. Input type is equals to button, and the value of the button I'm adding is insert a record. And after that I'm adding the another attribute ID of the button. Emp insert is the ID. Let's close the button control. Now let's add the AngularJS snippet to insert the records. In the same AngularJS script, inside the controller, I am adding another function $scope dot add employee record is a function name is equals to function now in this function I'm declaring a variable button click is equals to document dot get element by id. The string element, the get element by id is a string. The element id of the button is MVC Insert dot get attribute the string name value semicolon. If but click is equals to, I am adding the input button value insert record between double quotes. Now in this if condition I am adding $scope dot, I am adding the object name of the add employee is equals to the curly braces semicolon $scope dot. I am adding the add employee objects add employee dot. The object is first one, the column name, EMP name, email and salary. Let's add those ones. EMP name is equals to $scope dot EMP name. And this EMP name I'm adding in the EMP name text box ng-model is equals to, I'm adding EMP name semicolon $scope dot add employee dot. The next column name is email $scope dot email. Let's add this email to the input text box email, the placeholder, enter email ng-model. Let's add the email, and this placeholder is a salary. ng-model is equals to salary. Copy this one, semicolon $scope dot add employee dot salary column $scope dot salary semicolon. After that I'm adding $http. Now between these curly braces I am adding the HTTP attributes. The first attribute I am adding the method. The method is post, we are posting the data, comma. The second attribute I am adding URL. The URL is between single quotes. The path is the controller name, which is EMP. Let's add that one, EMP /, and the method name is add EMP. This is a method, comma. The next attribute is the data colon JSON dot the method stringify. I'm adding the stringify value. I'm adding scope add employee, this one, dot then function, then method function between curly braces semicolon. Now in this function the record is inserted successfully. I want to display the alert message. Alert, I'm adding the result dot data semicolon. Once the record is inserted successfully, I'm calling this get all employee to display the employee details here. Scope dot get employee details. After that, once the record is inserted successfully, and the table is once the record is inserted successfully into a table, I want to clear the text box controls. So let's add this scope dot name is equals to empty dollar scope dot email is equals to empty, and dollar scope dot salary, copy this one and paste here, is equals to empty. After that, I'm adding this scope add employee record function name in the button click event. I'm adding ng-click, sorry, it's a click, AngularJS director add employee record. That's it. We have done the complete coding part to insert and display records using AngularJS in MVC. Before run this application, the most important, we have to change the controller name. Open Solution Explorer. Let's go to top, app underscore start, expand that one, route config.cs file, open that one. Notice here the controller is a home, which is a default one. Let's delete that one. Our controller name is emp controller. Let's add the controller name emp, and the action result, the view page, is the index only, which is this one. That's it. Let's check the results. Google Chrome. And here we got our final output, the header tags, the table, and 3 text box controls and 1 button control. Notice the table right now, this is empty. Let's check in the database table also. The employee table, let's execute. Right now this employee table contains 0 rows. Here is 0 rows. Let's insert record. Let's enter employee name Charan, the enter email ID charan@gmail.com, and salary is 12345. Let's insert record. And here we got an alert message, record inserted successfully. Click OK. See, the employee Charan details is added into our table. Let's check in the database table also. Let's execute. And here we got the Charan employee details is added into this employee table. That's it.